to the David 67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today, Friday the 6th of October. Today's video going to be primarily a preview of our game tomorrow at home against Kilmarnock in the Scottish Premiership, with a couple of other wee bits of Celtic news related to tomorrow's fixture. And I will also be doing a separate update video regarding the women's team later on today also. Before we crack on with today's Celtic Kilmarnock preview, please do, if you can, click the subscribe button and click the like button for the video. And also today, Celtic Kilmarnock themed trivia question in the quiz section of the community section of this channel. So tomorrow Celtic playing Kilmarnock at home, 3:00 kick-off in the Scottish Premiership. The two teams lying second and third are playing on Sunday, and so it will give Celtic the opportunity to go 7 points clear of St Mirren and 10 points clear of Rangers, whose problems seem to go deeper and deeper, with an embarrassing loss in Greece yesterday, and as many managers saying they don't want the job at Rangers, as a few who are expressing some interest. And so tomorrow's game will be a great opportunity for Celtic to further increase the misery across the city. Of course, the last time we did play Kilmarnock, we lost. However, that was on the plastic pitch in the Viaplay Cup, when the team were clearly struggling to get a hold of the change in tactics and pace Brendan Rodgers was looking for. Also, in that game there was no CCV, no Rio Hatate, as both had been injured in the Aberdeen game, and as a result, Gustav Lagerbielke, who'd only been in the door a few days, was starting in that match. Quite a lot of controversy in that match as well, such as the obvious Stonewall penalty not given for Haksabanovic being chopped down in the box, and also the VAR not looking at what should have been quite a clear red card offence when Greg Taylor was thumped from behind, suffering a head injury and bleeding ear, and whilst we were down to 10 men, whilst Taylor was off the pitch receiving a head injury assessment and treatment, Kilmarnock of course scored their goal, exploiting the fact that we had no real left-back coverage at that time. However, since that time, Celtic's form has got better and better in Scottish fixtures, and Kilmarnock's has remained pretty much mediocre. Just looking at the stats, it is 11 years since we have lost a home game to Kilmarnock, stretching back to October 2012, and 5 years since we've lost a league game against Kilmarnock, within that time 11 wins and one draw. And Brendan Rodgers actually has more wins against Derek McInnes than against any other manager in Scotland, all of which are very encouraging. And also since the start of the 22-23 season, and so from the start of last season right through the whole of last season and the Scottish Premiership games so far this season, Kilmarnock actually have the worst away record of all teams in the Scottish Premiership, with only 2 wins, 4 draws, and 16 losses in the 22 matches since the start of last season through to current. All of these point very much to Celtic winning tomorrow at Celtic Park, and I am very sure Celtic will bounce back with a confident victory tomorrow. And personally, I would go for 3-0 to be the final score, as I think Celtic are just about starting to get used to the change in emphasis and pace and tactics that Rodgers has decided to use at Celtic, replacing the more free-flowing, attacking Postecoglou style. However, Celtic has lots of good players who are adapting to this, and as long as it produces entertaining football and lots of goals for Celtic, I'll be happy. On a related topic, in terms of predicting the team for tomorrow, would go with Hart in goals, back four of Johnston, CCV, Liam Scales and Greg Taylor. In midfield, would go with Hattati, McGregor and O'Reilly, and up front would go with Lewis Palmer on the right, Maeda on the left, and Kyogo through the middle. As far as I can see, there are probably 3 places in the team that are up for debate. Who is going to partner Liam Scales in central defence? Who's going to partner McGregor and O'Reilly in midfield? And who is going to play out wide on the right or the left alongside Maeda and Kyogo? From yesterday's community section poll, 59% of you went with CCV and 41% went with Nat Phillips to be the partner for Liam Scales tomorrow, with no one opting for Gustav Lagerbielke. And I think personally that's a very good option. I was actually very surprised when CCV was brought on with 30 minutes to go against Lazio, when Phillips appeared to be fully fit and coping well, and the back four looked confident and was keeping things under control. CCV did actually play perfectly well right up until the 95th minute, where his blunder, getting caught on the ball and then not getting back quick enough to block off the header going back across the goal, led to the Lazio victory. However, I was fully expecting CCV to start against Kilmarnock when it was announced that his fitness recovery had gone much quicker, and so I would expect he'll start on Saturday against Kilmarnock with either Lagerbielke or Phillips coming on, maybe with 15-20 minutes to go, just so that CCV more smoothly gets back into full match practice. Reo Hattati did start the season well, playing well in a couple of substitute appearances. Then, of course, he got injured against Aberdeen and hasn't looked the same player since he came back. It does appear that his role under Rodgers is quite different from the role that Ange Postecoglou wanted him to play. Hattati tended to be all over the pitch under Postecoglou, quite often helping out in defence, helping out at right back, linking up in midfield, and getting forward to support Abada, Maeda, Jota, etc. Over the last 2 seasons. However, he doesn't appear to be playing quite so far forward under Rodgers, and was probably our most disappointing player against Lazio on Wednesday. It would actually be interesting, I think, if we started Paolo Bernardo against Kilmarnock and maybe had Hatate on the bench. However, I think, given that the international break is soon to follow this game, that Hatate will get the start. And then, of course, we'll have a couple of weeks in the international break at Celtic Park and at Lennoxtown for training and working with Rodgers and the other coaches. Interestingly, in Brendan Rodgers' post-match press conference at against Lazio, he was explaining that he started Yang over Luis Palma against Lazio because of Yang's greater physicality. I personally don't really see Yang as being any more physical or strong than Luis Palma. He has been at the club a few weeks more than Luis Palma, but it could be also argued that Luis Palma had had quite a number of competitive fixtures in Greece, in European qualifiers, and then in league matches prior to coming to Celtic, and so possibly actually was a wee bit more match sharp when he came to the club than Yang was at the same time. I think Yang, in a year or two's time, is going to be a very, very good player, and I think he is actually a good player to come off the bench in the last maybe 20 minutes or so, as he does have an extra bit of pace, but still needs to work a lot for me on his final ball cross pass into the box, and doesn't seem to get into the box nearly enough to support Kyogo and the attacking midfielders such as O'Reilly, which is why I would definitely go for Luis Palma against Kilmarnock from the start. He, of course, scored a goal last week coming on against Motherwell and looked a lot more bright and attacking and of a threat than Yang had been. And that was also the case against Lazio, where, of course, he scored a disallowed goal, offside by a few inches, with a very smart finish at the back post. There are several reasons I think Luis Palma is the better option. I think he is more creative, better final ball. He, from his time in Greece, was clearly a very good player at dead ball situations, quite a high number of direct free kick goals, and quite a number of assists from direct free kicks in for other players to shoot or head into the goal, and similarly from corner kicks. And I would hope that Celtic do start to use him very soon for direct free kicks and corner kicks, as I personally would like to see players such as O'Reilly, Kyogo, and Hatate in the box at those situations, rather than taking direct free kicks, for which neither of those three are quite so skilled as it would appear is Luis Palma. Other interesting comment I've seen in multiple places has been that Luis Palma is only able to use his right foot. From the various YouTube highlight videos and scouting videos, and from excerpts of that were in a video of mine from about a month ago. Luis Palma is actually predominantly right-footed, but is more than capable of using his left foot, able to pass, cross, and shoot left-footed. And actually, for me, is very similar in that term as was Jota, who was primarily right-footed but able to use his left foot. Jota, particularly when he was playing wide on the left, would like to cut in towards the box, and didn't quite so much go to the byline to use his left foot, but was able. And I do think with time that Palmer and Greg Taylor and O'Reilly and Hatate will work well with one or other overlapping, and Palmer either playing on the right or the left, both of which he's perfectly capable of doing. More likely when he is playing on the left to cut in on his right foot, which is also the case pretty much with Dice and Maida, pretty much also the case with Jota when he was with us, and with Lee Labada before he got injured. And so for me, I really, really hope that Rodgers gives Lewis Palmer the start against Kilmarnock, and that he is the first choice for that position up until when Lee Labada comes back from injury sometime in 2024. A couple of wee bits of associated news. It was very nice to see Liam Scales getting called up to the full Republic of Ireland squad, and the Republic of Ireland manager giving him a lot of compliments on his form for Celtic, and being fully deserved to call up for this full squad. And also Mikey Johnson was called into the full Republic of Ireland squad now that he's back from injury. And three of our B team players, Lawal, Vata, and Kenny, two of which are away on loan at the moment, are all in the under 21 squad for Republic of Ireland. One big surprise was the Danish manager has not called up Matt O'Reilly to his full international squad for games against San Marino and Kazakhstan, which does seem rather odd, especially as Matt O'Reilly also is qualified to play for Norway through parentage, and Norway were said to be quite keen to bring him into their squad as well. And I do wonder whether Denmark may regret not calling up O'Reilly, because I think he is going to be a superstar in the long term. And hopefully we can keep hold of him in our team for another couple or more years, to work alongside McGregor, Hatate, Kyogo, Maeda, Abada, CCV, etc., making us totally dominant in Scotland and becoming more and more powerful in Europe. However, all these things are for the future. We'll finish off today's Celtic versus Kilmarnock preview there. My intention would be to do a post-match review around 5-6 tomorrow afternoon after Celtic thump Kilmarnock. And so for today, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, goodbye, good luck Celtic, and hail, hail!